Welcome to this Blastoff reading this week. Watch out, people. This is Leo energy. I really want us to have a good time with this over the next 30 days. Leo, I think of as the most fun sign of all in the zodiac. And right now we have a grand trine in the sky of fire, which that's the element that Leo is a part of. So it's all about us taking action, feeling really unsettled if we're not active. It's not a time of rest. This falls right in the middle of the summer when so many of us are busy, and I swear that that was by divine design, because it just keeps us propelled to keep going forward. So let's use this to our advantage this week, you know. I'm saying it's a power booster kind of a week because it's that kind of energy. And the cards, all of the crystals that were involved in this week's reading are from my fire team. So they all carry that very vibrant, playful, joyful, and like inspired kind of energy. We're not really in an emotional place this week, and as we're in the Leo energy, Leo's very loving and all out there, but Leo's focused on what its own needs are and taking care of self and then being able to offer to others then. It's all, you know, meant with the best of heart. So, but it's not a super watery place, or it's not a mental place. This is about action orientation. So this week's Sabian symbol for our reading is Gemini 9. And it reads, "A medieval archer stands with ease of one wholly sure of himself, bow in hand, his quiver filled with arrows." So you are really defining with your mind, with your big full heart, like a big old lion, which is what Leo is. You've got your eye on the prize. You've got all of your tools in your backpack, and you're steadily gathering your resources, making your lists, and then it's going to be time to pounce. This is not the week to pounce. This is the week to be steady and to take care of getting your ducks in a row, I want to say. There were some words here that I was getting as I was tapping in with all of our teams together. Defining what it is that you want, using skill, focus, and knowledge to not only define that, but to have those as tools within your backpack, in the quiver. Composing yourself and being sure of your marksmanship before making your commitment to take aim. I love that word, marksmanship. You will be boldly moving forward in your life in whatever way this is resonating for you, but you need to get all of your knowledge together, your skills together. Make sure that you're really focused on what it is you truly want. I almost feel like this is whatever is most troubling in your life that is the focus of this reading, as is for most weeks. It's going to take strategy and skill to take that next move. But that's where you're really getting your strategy figured out. Because remember, we always have lots of options when we're making a decision on how we're going to move forward. And instead of the, kind of aim, fire, it's like, instead of like firing off without having any concept of what you truly want, instead of taking that bold action and leaping ahead, you're really being careful and deliberate, okay? Standing ready to release the arrow to hit your target. So by the end of this week, you're much more, like by next weekend, the energy will be much more in a solid place, I want to say. The start of Leo is a serious, I want to say the start of any fire sign is like a blast off. It's like we have a power booster on. I was feeling it last week as we were leading up to the Leo. That's why like there were a lot of distractions in the videos that I was making, because the energy was really funky. It was really staticky, and I could tell we were in the midst of that shift into the Leo energy. And once you hit a fire sign, boy, you know it, because things start really taking off. But Leo isn't quite as driven, I want to say, as the other fire signs of Aries and Sagittarius, at least in my philosophy. They are very bold and warrior-like and freedom at all cost kind of feeling to them. And Leo is all about love. It's ruled by the sun, so it's interested in shining. And Leo's not going to shine if it doesn't have its act together. You know, it's going to have its outfit on, the perfect outfit, be in the perfect kind of mood, and that's the person that takes to the stage and shines big. But it's really about getting that preparation done. It's about picking out the proper costume. It's picking out the proper script. It's being sure that you're relaying the emotion of the script just right. I'm talking about it as if it's a stage, which is our life, because that's Leo. Leo loves the stage and loves being the center of attention and out there for everybody to see. And we all have a part of Leo in our charts, in our astrological charts. So when this energy pops up each year, it like pings on that part of your chart where Leo sits. And it's like, oh, welcome home, old friend. So here's what we're going to focus on. So it's individual for all of you, but that energy is the same nonetheless of who Leo is, as I've been describing. Alrighty then, so let's get to our cards and crystals. So we're keeping in mind that medieval archer who's standing ready. He's got everything in his backpack. I feel like this week is about getting that quiver filled with your tools, filled with the arrows, if you will. I'd rather see it as a backpack with like a toolkit in it, which is filled with your knowledge, your wisdom, perhaps physical things that you may need as tools to move forward on what you need. But it's really preparation and taking wise steps before you really let go of that arrow, before you even put the arrow in the bow, before you even string it up and pull it back. We're not even there yet. I think it's next weekend when you're saying, okay, here's the first arrow and I'm going to pull it back. So we'll see what next week brings, but I feel like that's not till next weekend that's going on. This is preparation. All right. First card up is, if you chose this card, this is from the Archangel Raphael Healing Oracle by Doreen Virtue. And we have fresh air. Very interesting. Have you take a look at that image and see what you see in it, because that's what matters most, remember, in these readings. What do you notice? Do you notice color? Do you notice the one or both of the animals? Do you notice something about the angel figure? And I'm also going to read you what it says, because sometimes the words will hit for you. Dear Archangel Raphael, thank you for helping me breathe easier in all ways. And with this card, we have this tiger's eye. And this I call the archer. It's perfect. I mean, I got these crystals through dowsing. I didn't have a preconceived idea about what I was going to be using, but how perfect with this image that we have of the medieval archer. And this crystal is known to me as being very goal-oriented and about making a plan, especially. It's very driven and it's very focused, okay? So I feel like for you, in order to get your toolkit put together or your quiver filled up this week, truly being in nature is going to be important. For those of you too, I want to say this, who believe in saging. You take dried white sage and you just smolder that, and the smoke that it generates helps to cleanse your household. I feel like that too could be important for some of you because we've got this shift in the energy. We've been in really watery territory with Cancer, and it creates a lot of emotion that is home-based. Cancer is very much about the home. And so you've been digging that up and sort of churning it around, and everybody's affected by that energy, whether they believe in this stuff or not. It really doesn't matter. The energy exists, and so we've been in this watery place, and it digs up a lot of, like if you imagine an ocean and really powerful waves coming through, and they churn and they dig up a lot of this like old seaweed and muck that's been on the bottom. I feel like that's in your home environment. So you can do a few things. You can burn sage. You can simply ask for your team. You can walk around in each room and say, please cleanse this room of any low vibrational energy. Just your intention and asking your team to help you will cleanse that. People like the sage because they can see and feel and smell it. And for those of you who douse, I sage with a rod in my hand, and I have them tell me, my team tell me when the room is fully cleansed. Sometimes you have to go back. You know, and I'll put out there, I do offer house cleansings as well, any environment cleansings. But that's something you can easily do if you just get some white sage. It's super easy. Another option is those who prefer to go this route of an essential oil and getting a diffuser. And you could put it in each room of your house, like even, you know, doing it for an hour in each room, or even a half hour probably would be okay. You could either use clary sage, or they do sell sage oil. I would recommend either of those. I also am getting a sense of frankincense being something that could be helpful in cleansing. Okay, so that's what I mostly get for you that chose this card. Is home's feeling a little heavy to me because of what we've just been through with the energy of Cancer. And so that's why I'm noticing with the animals, particularly the cat, because I'm a cat person. Animals are very affected by energy, and your animals might be a little on edge too. And this house cleansings are immensely helpful to animals to just even out their temperament, and they're always on alert. They're always scanning the energy, and so it's helpful to just calm everything for them when you do a sage. That's why I try to do a sage once a week in my house. So that's the real thing that I'm getting, and I feel that that's on because the very first thing I was drawn to this card is kind of the greenery here. So I knew it had something to do with something that grows. Certainly getting out in nature can be very helpful. Again, I'm saying these things because there's energy that needs to be cleaned up. It really feels like it's enclosed in your home though. I don't even really want to say go outside, get your feet on the earth, all that. You've heard me say those things many times. It feels enclosed to me, and it feels like your pets are really suffering if you have animals, because we want to blast off. We want to be focused this week. Be focused, okay? You can't be focused if the energy around you is really chaotic. This also does mean even in terms of clutter in your home. See, this is Leo. It's like there's no more sitting around. Our relaxation days are over for the moment when we're really living in Leo energy. It's, you know, even picking up clutter in the house can be really helpful. Even if you just have a drawer or a closet that you put all that stuff in. Get the clutter out of your everyday walking paths, because literally that adds to kind of this staticky, chaotic energy. And that's not going to play well with Leo and this Archer getting the tools ready. It's like you've got to be cleansed in your own energy in order to get clear on how you want to move forward and what you do want. And little things like making sure that your house is together wherever you're living, is in a picked up shape. You know, there's not stuff laying all over the place. There's not a bunch of dishes in the sink. And doing some type of a cleanse ritual and asking your team to help, or whatever method you want to use. Some people also put lemon peels in water, and they put that on the stove top and allow that to sort of penetrate the air. And that can be very cleansing as well. Crystals can be helpful, but for me personally, I just find sage to be the best thing for cleansing. But I'm a very, I like to be able to smell it, and I like my dowsing to confirm when a room is truly cleansed. So that's what I'm getting for you that chose this card. Attention on home this week, and keeping it real, getting things picked up, you know, getting things cleansed up. Okay, on to card number 2. Make sure this Archer doesn't fly away here. Okay, card number 2 is from the Soul Coaching deck. This is by Denise Lynn. I love these cards because they're very gentle and very broad topics. Before I even look at the card, I'm going to say you who have chosen this card are the first to work with this beautiful orange carnelian that I got from a wonderful healer friend of mine, my source, go-to source for my crystals. Let me know if you want her name. She's fabulous with sourcing crystals. This orange carnelian, when I sat with this, I literally just got this weekend. And I was getting the name Wide Open Arms. And the meaning behind that was being open, receptive, and the richness of experience. This could not be a more Leo kind of a stone. This little helper feels totally like Leo energy. Leo loves just getting like life of the party, experiences, getting out there. They are not, that personality type is not one to sit inside and just relax, or sit on the beach and just read a book. They're up playing the volleyball game, they're out doing water sports, they're walking the beach 10 times a day. Like, they're busybodies. They love experience, and that's what I feel with this for you. That's why I'm leading with the crystal. This wide open arms. What I was getting for an image was a child out in a field of wildflowers, the sun beating down. The rest of us would be like, oh, I wish I had a hat, or oh, I need my sunscreen. There's this child out there, probably 5-6 years old. This was what I was seeing with this, and spinning around in these wildflowers. Total wild abandon. Don't care that the sun is penetrating my skin. Don't care that I might get burned, or have a sunburn. Don't care that, God, I'm out in these wildflowers. I'll probably have ticks all over me. Don't care. Don't care. This is Leo. Welcome to Leo, people. So fun. So fun. They really just throw the rules to the side and say, what is it going to take for me to have fun today? That's what they're focused on. So for you who chose this card, fun. And I want to go back to that phrase of richness through experience. Think about the child in that field spinning round and round, and just they're looking up at the clouds and looking at the beautiful flowers, and then when they get dizzy, they just tumble down into all these wildflowers, and they're surrounded by color, and They don't care about the dishes at home. They don't care about that they've got ironing to do or whatever. You know, it's about fun, but it's the added experience of finding that kind of level of joy, of this wild abandon, wide open arms. I'm taking everything and anything that comes my way, like just scoop it up like a huge bucket loader. That's what I feel like for you. So there we go. That, I haven't even looked at your card, but alrighty, surrender. Look at her. She's skinny dipping. Yes, she's skinny dipping. Talk about the wild child out in the wildflowers. Go skinny dipping. I'm giving you the permission. All of you who picked this card, that's you. It's on your list this week. All is well. I surrender to my inner guidance. Leo is all out there, baby. What you need in order to get your quiver filled up with your arrows or your backpack filled with your toolkit is a sense of this wild abandon. Not caring what anybody says. You're going to have fun at all costs this week. That's this. You're going to go ahead and have new experiences. Remember, Leo's action-oriented. Doing crazy things like skinny dipping? Oh no, you know? Rules to the side. You have cat's note. No more rules for you this week. Do stuff you never do. Be crazy. Go a different way to work. Be crazy. Have hot chocolate instead of coffee. Or iced chocolate instead of iced coffee, or take the time to go out to lunch with a friend in the middle of the week, or decide on Thursday night, yes, we're going to have ice cream for dinner. We're going to have banana splits for dinner. Maybe you have banana splits for lunch or breakfast. You know, this is the kind of, like, I feel like it's like crazy stuff. Crazy making. But this, wide open arms, because when you let down your defenses and you get out of the same old, it breaks the energy pattern. That's what's going on with the vibration of the energy that you're offering, is there's a break in the pattern, and Leo demands it. Leo's just like, oh, come on. Get up here on the stage. You keep saying you don't like that, but I don't believe you, because we all have Leo in us. So find that part of you, that skinny dipping part of you, the wild child, wildflowers. Oh my God, I can't get enough, and spinning. Go take a samba class in the middle of the week, or do something crazy, because it just makes you feel good, because it's so different. Leo is anything but routine. No routine at all. So Earth people, those of you, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, it might be a little hard, but please break out of the mold this week if you chose this card. And report back. Did skinny dipping happen, or was it the banana split? I love that. I absolutely love that. Okay. Finally, the last card. This is from The Way of the Horse deck by Linda Kohanov. And I always like to read these entries because I think she writes really beautifully. This is called The Master of Sadness. If you look at this horse really close, you can see a glint right by the corner of his eye, which is a tear that's forming. He's got a third eye area on the head there that is pretty lit up as well. But I always get the sense that this is an older horse. It's a horse who's been through a lot, has seen a lot, but is breaking through something. So I'm just going to read this to you. Again, notice what you pick up on that feels important. as I'm reading. The Master of Sadness. These are the themes: sadness or grief, the power of tears, release and rejuvenation. A tear at the edge of the sage horse's eye, put that up for you, catches the light of infinity. The gift of the Master of Sadness is sadness signifies it's time to let go of a relationship, job, or perspective that no longer serves you. Tears help you release attachment to an old way of being, rejuvenating you for the next stage of growth. The challenge is some people are more afraid of sadness and grief than fear or anger. Yet holding back those tears leads to depression and despair. Even real men need to cry. So, additionally, you have my piece of malachite, and this is a real rough piece. It's like it's been chipped out of something much, much larger. It hasn't really been finished off. This I call auger. This is one of the most powerful crystals I have in my collection. Even though it's very small, I very rarely use it with clients because auger goes deep and ain't coming up until it gets what it wants, meaning release. What I'm getting as an image as I'm saying this is like, originally I saw it as an auger, like when you go ice fishing, but I'm not seeing that as I'm saying this to you. I'm seeing actually like, and I don't know how they do this, when they're drilling for oil. It's almost like I'm seeing this, definitely a drill piece going down, 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 serious depths into the earth. And almost a sense of releasing steam first and then getting to something, to the gold, the liquid gold that lays beneath. But some steam, what I really get is some steam needs to be released. That's what I feel this is about. I'm not saying you're going to cry your eyes out this week. I don't go there. I have nothing against sadness. And tears may be appropriate for some of you as you're moving through some things. What I'm getting more is almost like a sense of like you're hitting this, if you're going down through the earth and there's a pocket of like toxic gas, and it's like it goes as soon as auger gets down to that level. So for you, I feel that this week, to get that toolkit in order, to get the arrows in the quiver, that you're going to need, it would be beneficial for you to do some self-reflection work. And I really want to focus on in terms of that Sabian symbol, on defining what it is you want. Because if you're getting reactions from others or from within yourself, your own emotional reactions, or that with others that you're trying to work with, if you're getting reactions that are really harsh, Leo is not a harsh energy. Leo is fun. And really, we are here to have fun. Life is not supposed to be hard from the soul's perspective. The soul respects, your team respects that life is hard here. But really, before you incarnated, you really chose everything that's going on and wanted to have fun in this experience. And fun looks very different to many people, and it certainly does to a soul. Deep experience for a soul is considered serious fun. But to get to the deep experience, the stuff that you will always remember for the rest of your life, you got to go deep, and you aren't coming back until you get it. Until that gaseous, toxic bubble it's like you're going into a depth of yourself where there is this toxicity sitting that could be just a simple line of programmed thought that's always been there. It's like it needs to, that pressure's got to be released, is what I feel like. So notice it in your interactions or within yourself. For you, whatever situation is hardest in your life right now, this is a challenge for you this week. Whatever is most challenging in your life, really think about, well, what is the outcome I want with this? Because could it be that you're fighting, or you're resisting, or you're, and this is even within yourself, are you fighting something, or turning away from something, or resisting in some way, when really it's like, instead of looking at what you don't want, it's looking at what you do want. For you, it's turning the head this week. That's what's going to help get to this toxic feeling inside you. It feels like it's inside you. And letting that pressure release, so that you can have, this card is totally about release and being, I want to say, man enough. All of us, we all have masculine energy within us. And Leo is all about that, like not afraid to put it all out there, including crying when a Leo needs to, or taking action. But it's kind of ponying up and allowing yourself to really do an overhaul on really looking at what do I really want here? Am I focused on a certain line of thinking, like I'll be, hell will freeze over before I'm going to let that happen, or this is, that it looks like this, or whatever. Like that's looking at an old picture. And instead, you're being encouraged to look at, okay, stop the train. What do I want this situation to look like a year from now? And that's where you should be focused, I feel like, because there's more toxicity building up somewhere deep within you, and it's just, Leo is not having any of it. This is the beauty of us being in Leo season. Fun, joy, open heart, like, oh, I can't give enough love in this world. I can't, they're so open. But when you're closed up and you're gathering this toxic, gaseous parts within you, it's like augers going down there like, no, Leo doesn't like this. Let's let it go. And so it's okay to let it go. And it's okay to just privately just take a revisit on what is it that you really want. I feel like the Sabian symbol for you this week is more focused on really defining your goal, making sure that that target that you're aiming at is the right message, or is the right lens through which to look to really get to it. Because you might be looking at a bit of a mirage right now, and you'll know, because it causes this nasty yuck to come up in you. It's like venom coming out of you, or it's happening with people that you're working with in something. So it could just be really helpful to take a second look at your goal, your ultimate goal, a year down the road, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, however long makes sense for what you're struggling with. This card feels like a struggle area of life. Leo so wants to help you out on this. The Leo energy is a great lifter. It's a power booster. It is like we're strapping on a power booster this week and really getting ready, because we got 30 days with Leo. And that's why I'm saying let's use it to the best of our ability and allow this noxious fumes within you to be released so that you can really enjoy, the following 3 weeks after that and get some things done within the Leo energy, which is all about action, but in a fun way and very loving and open. So I hope that is helpful, all those messages. And again, I say, please, let's really enjoy this Leo energy, because it is I think it's the most fun sign. And a lot of the other signs, each sign, as we go through this year, I will always be touching base on the sign, especially when we're launching into a new one, just to introduce you to the energy and know that you have that. Every single one has so many gifts to offer us, and that's how I choose to look at my life, and using the energy to your advantage to help us when we're not feeling quite on our game. Those planets and stars are right with us to help us along the way, so let's take advantage of that. So power up, strap on the power booster. We are launched into Leo. Have a great week.